Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now and you are able to see me properly. If there is any problem with my audio or the video, please let me know so that I can get it rectified right away. If there is no problem, then we'll continue with the same itself. Uh, if my audio and the video is absolutely proper, then we can continue with the same. If there is any problem, please let me know. Good evening, everyone. We'll get started in 5 minutes. I have already opened up the notebook today before the class itself in Collab so that we can continue with the same itself. Okay, we'll continue from there. Okay, we'll wait for 5 more minutes so that everyone can join us and then we'll get started. So 2 more minutes we'll just wait and then we'll get started with writing the entire code and everything. Okay, we'll just wait for 2 more minutes so that everyone can join us who are late and then we'll continue with the same. Okay, just 2 more minutes, guys. I don't know what happened yesterday. Today also I'm facing the same error that I was not able to open up the notebook in Collab, but no matter what, I have opened up in some other way, so you don't have to worry about it. Today there will be class. I am ensuring that. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the same. Today we will have the class itself. We'll just wait for 2 more minutes and then we'll get started. Will that be fine? That everyone can join us and then we'll continue with the same itself. Good evening, everyone. It's great to see you guys all back again learning Python and machine learning from scratch. So yesterday's class was cancelled and hence the name for today's class is day 2 itself, because yesterday's class was cancelled. We'll be extending the bootcamp by 1 day, so we'll be completing it in 7 days itself, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, yeah, that's amazing, guys. We'll just wait for 2 more minutes so that everyone can join us and then we'll continue with the same. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's some problem with Collab, I guess. No worries, I have already opened it, so like there will be no problem today. Okay, we'll not be facing any type of problem. Okay, so we'll just wait for 2 more minutes so that everyone can join us up to that particular point of time. If someone wants to go and drink water or something like that, they can do that as well. Okay, that's cool. I was just seeing all the previous bootcamps that I have conducted. So I've conducted a bootcamp on Python and data science. Then I conducted a bootcamp on data analysis and ML. Then data structures and algorithms. Then on Python and deep learning. Then on Python and machine learning. Then Python and computer vision. Then Python and data analysis, Python and data visualization, basic web dev bootcamp, and then this particular bootcamp, Python and linear regression of Python and machine learning. So what should be the next bootcamp related to Python? Can someone suggest me, like, what should be the next bootcamp related to Python? I'm not able to get a good idea upon what it should be. I'm thinking about a combination of like NLP or something like that. Can someone let me know that what should be the next bootcamp itself? I'm just looking forward for some different ideas. So if someone is able to come up with some good idea, then I think so I might be considering that as well. Okay, if someone has any good ideas about what should be the next bootcamp on related to Python and something related to machine learning, deep learning, data science, something like that. See, artificial intelligence is something that is not related to actually to Python. It is more mathematics, so you will not be able to understand anything. Okay, what about Java? Currently we do not have any like thing about Java, like we are not planning about it. Okay, SQL is something that most people will not be interested in, so very less people will be coming to the bootcamp itself. I'm also thinking about NLP itself, like NLTK and all those kind of stuff, but let's see. Blockchain, we are not right now interested in having anything related to blockchain. Okay, Azure cloud computing, again that's not related to Python, guys. Okay, web dev front end bootcamp that is currently going on. So that is something that is. So deep learning, please. Okay, so either NLP or deep learning. I'm thinking about that, like either of those two things. Django will look at in the future itself, not right now. We are not planning anything related to Django right now. Ethical hacking, no, we are not planning anything related to ethical hacking, but yes, I'm planning to bring in a ethical hacker from Rachi for a like interview or something like that. I'm talking to him right now, so let's see if he agrees or something like that. Okay, so yeah, let's continue with the same. Okay, so almost most of the people have joined, so we'll start with the entire work itself. Data types and operators. So we had completed up till I guess like integer and floats had been done. We are at Boolean data types, comparison and logical operators. This is what we were at the last class itself. So we'll continue with this. Okay, so Boolean data types, comparison and logical operators. Last time when we met, we had learned about the different data types. We learned about the integer and the float data types. Today we will get started with Boolean data types, comparison and logical operators. Okay, so bool is another data type that is commonly used in Python. Bool is a short form for Boolean data types, which can have a value of either true or false. So just like you are having your digital values 0 1 0 1 0 1, and then you are having your analog values that is from 0 to 1. Okay, so this is something that you have already studied in physics in your 11th and 12th itself. I hope that much is absolutely clear what is analog and what is digital. So in digital, it is either like it is a bunch of zeros and ones itself. 0 means a false value and 1 means a true value. So that is called as a Boolean operator itself, a Boolean data type itself. Okay, so Boolean data type. So for example, integer can have values from 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, whereas a float can have values from like 1.1 1.2 1.3 or something like that. Similarly, for Boolean data types, you can have values either in true or either in false. Okay, I hope that you are able to hear my voice absolutely perfectly. There is no problem with my voice at all. Okay, so because I'm also like, I saw that before the class itself, there is no problem with my voice. Similarly, Boolean algebra is the branch of algebra in which the values of the variables are the truth values, that is true and false. So just like you are having your arithmetic operators, that is when you perform like you use operators on for example, plus, minus, multiplication, division, all these are performed on in integers and floats. So that is basically called as arithmetic operators. Similarly, when you perform some operations on Boolean data type, that is true and false, then that will be called as Boolean algebra, okay, or Boolean operators. So we'll look at that as well. Boolean algebra gives us the framework upon which all electronic devices are built and exists fundamentally in every line of code inside a computer. So you know that every computer is only zeros and ones in its inside, that is, it is digital in nature. Your computers, your TV remotes, your TV, your phone, your calculator, every single thing is digital in nature, that is, it's a bunch of zeros and ones, and hence there are many different operators that is being used to manipulate these zeros and ones to get the desired result that you want. Okay, so that is called as the Boolean algebra. We can easily assign Boolean values like this. So we can have a particular variable name and then the value assigned to that particular variable name as true. So Python awesome is equals to true, documentation bad is equals to false. So this is what I am trying to explain to you right now. You can easily create Boolean values by writing the variable name on the left and the values as the right as well. Okay, okay, so moving on to the next. So this is how you can initialize or declare a particular Boolean variable itself. We can use comparison operators to compare two values and produce Boolean results. So for example, is 3 greater than 1? Yes, 3 is greater than 1, so this will return true to you and the value of a would be true. I have my caps lock on. Okay, so the value of a would be true in nature. So when I'm writing 3 is greater than 1, that means I'm just checking if 3 is greater than 1, so that will return true to me, and the value of a will be assigned as the value that will be assigned to a will be true in nature. So when I'm printing this, you'll be able to see that it is printing true and its output. Okay, you will be able to see in just 1 second. It is actually, I forgot to connect it to the servers now, so it is connecting still. It will initializing. It should be connected any moment right now, and done. So as you will be able to see that when I'm printing the value of a on the screen, you are able to see that true is being printed out. That is 3 is greater than 1, hence true is being printed out on your screen. Here 3 is greater than 1, so printing out the output gives us a Boolean value to true, that yes, this particular statement is correct. There are many comparison operators in Python. So greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to are all comparison operators in Python. There is line equal to. So if you want to check if 3 is equal to 1 or not, so you can write equal to right over here. So this will check if the value present on the left hand side, that is 3, is equal to the value present on the right hand side, that is 1 or not. So that is also something that you need to know. Okay, moving on to the next particular aspect itself. As you will see, the function of all these comparison operators are evident from the name itself. These are less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, or not equal to. So these are all the different comparison operators that are available to you. Working with Boolean has its own set of operators called as logical operators. Okay, so for example, when you are working with integers and your floats, you are having your arithmetic operators. Similarly, when you are working with Boolean data type, you are having your logical operators. These operators are very useful when working with Boolean and evaluates if both the sides are true, or evaluates if at least one of the side is true or not, or something like that. So to understand this, you must remember, okay, to understand this, there is something that you must remember from your physics classes itself, that is your like and, or, not, that was present early on itself. Okay, so that is something that you can do using these Boolean operators as well. Okay, so that is also something that you guys need to know. So for example, if the value on the left hand side is true and the value on the right hand side is also true, then it will be true. So let us look at an example for AND operator, the AND logical operator. Okay, so I will just clear this out. I think this has been, so let us just see via an example itself. Please do not like say something false. Please focus upon the class itself. Whenever the attendance will come, it will come on your screen. Okay, so let's try to understand the logical AND operator. Okay, so the first operator that we'll be looking at is the AND operator. So we are having two values on the left of AND and the right of AND. So there is one value on the right value. Okay, so X is basically 1 and Y is 1, where 1 means true. Okay, let's take up true itself. So X is true, Y is true, then the answer, so true and true is always true. When X is false, Y is true, then false and true is false. When if X is true and Y is false, then true and false is false. When X is false and Y is false, then it is also false. Okay, so these are the commands for AND operator. When moving to, if instead of AND it was OR operator, okay, now it is not AND but it is OR operator, then what will be the output? So it is OR operator. So true or true is true, false or true is true, true or false is also true, false or false is false. Okay, so this will be the output for the OR operator. This is something that you already know from 11th and 12th. So this is not something that I am going to teach, because this is like you already know that. Okay, the truth table itself. Okay, so this is not something that I will be teaching, but just to recap it, so that if someone has forgotten about it from the 11th and 12th classes, they are able to remember about this. Okay, so in the same way, in like Python as well, it is as simple as that. You are having your left hand side some truth value, and on the right hand side also some truth value, and you just need to compare that. So currently my rent is 1200, so I'm having a particular rent as 1200. I'm checking if that particular rent is affordable. For me the rent is affordable if the rent is between 1000 and 2000 rupees. Okay, if the rent is in between them, then you will be able to understand that it is affordable for me. Okay, so I'm checking that. So the first condition is if rent is greater than 1000. Is the rent greater than 1000? Yes, rent is greater than 1000, as you are able to see, because rent is 1200. So this will return true to you. Then rent is less than 2000. Rent is 1200. 1200 is less than 2000. Hence this is also true. So on both the sides of add, and you are having true on both the sides. So true and true is always true in nature, and hence you will be able to get true and true. So that is true, and you will be able to get is affordable true. So true is being returned to you as the output itself. That is what I'm trying to make you guys understand up till this particular point of time. As simple as that. Okay, here we check if the rent of a house is affordable or not. Here in the second line we evaluate both the sides, that is rent is greater than 1000. So I've already discussed about it. Okay, nothing additional needs to be covered in this. It is as simple as that. Okay, so now what if I want to check if the particular rent is not affordable to me or not? Okay, so if this was returning to me a true value, okay, if I want to convert it into a false value, that is I want to negate that, I want to invert that, then you just have to put it inside brackets and put up not in front of it. So early on you were getting true as your output, now it will negate it. This not will negate, that is inverse whatever is present in this particular bracket. So if I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that now I'm getting false as my output. That is it is reversing, it is inversing the entire output to me. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to explain right over here. Okay, next, so we have covered the Boolean data type. Now it is time for the strings data type itself. So early on in the early examples itself, we had put up a hello world example. Okay, so print hello world. So this hello world itself is called as a string. Okay, yes, not will work like negation itself. That's absolutely correct. Not will work like negation itself. Moving further, we are having, so early on when we saw the entire print hello world itself, you are easily able to see that print hello world is basically the hello world in the inverted commas is what you will consider as your how can I say it, string itself. Okay, the hello world, anything in the quotation marks itself will be considered as your string itself. Okay, that is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Okay, that will just 2ml. Okay, and then I will just change its name, ml, and d2 responses, accepting responses, send, and leave that at there itself. Okay, so now whosoever is trying to scroll and find it, they will be stuck at here, and then they will message me that okay sir, I'm not able to find the attendance, and I will be like gotcha. Okay, so now moving further itself, strings. Python has another data type in its toolkit called as strings. As the name suggests, this data type deals with the characters and words and texts. Okay, so basically anything that you can imagine, whether it be spaces, whether it be special characters, whether it be in numbers, anything that you can imagine, anything put in between the quotation marks, that will be considered as a string. We can create a string by using quotes as seen down below. So this is there are two ways to create a particular string, using double quotation marks and using single quotation marks as well. Both of them will give you the same output. If I'm running this particular code, you will be able to see that both is giving me shape AI in the output itself. Okay, so we can use double quotation as well as single quotation as well. can I learn MERN with Python as a programming language? The definition of MERN itself is JavaScript, so you cannot include that Python in MERN stack. Okay, so Linta Khan, nobody is going to send you the attendance link, sorry. Okay, let's continue with the same. In this example, we printed the word shape AI using single and double quotes, and we got the same output, shape AI. We can also assign a string to a variable just like in float and int. So we are declaring a particular variable motto, and we are assigning the value, that is the string, learn, code, compete, and intern. As simple as that. So you are defining a particular variable and then assigning a string to that particular variable itself. Okay, strings in Python are shown as the variable type str. So we have already looked at the type function in the first day. We looked at type of a particular integer, type of a particular float itself, and as you are able to see, type motto, when I'm printing it out, it will put up str in the output. So motto is of the type str, that is string. Okay, so strings can use any character, number, symbol, spaces within these codes. Okay, like I said again, you can have, like for example in motto, you can have, like, as you are able to see, you are having your alphabets, capital alphabets, small alphabets, you're having your numbers, special characters, numbers, other like units or something like that itself. Okay, so when I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that everything is working absolutely fine. Okay, so you can include anything in the entire string itself. Okay, so let us continue at the same thing. No, the attendance link hasn't been given up till this particular point of time. Okay. Okay, let's continue with the same as well. Dialogue. So this is a particular dialogue that I have made, a dialogue variable, that is Shiva said you learn as you grow. Okay, so as you are able to see, there is an like quotation mark inside the quotation mark. Okay, when you are doing something like that, there's a lot of errors that you can end up going into. As you're able to see, what happens with Python is Python starts the string from the first double quotation mark, and it will end the string when it finds the second double quotation mark itself. So it is going, and as you are able to see, at this particular point of time, when it is able to find the second quotation mark, it is actually stopping. Okay, it is actually stopping, it is waiting, and it is like, okay, I've completely found the entire string, and now I don't know what this gibberish is. According to Python, this is something gibberish in nature. Okay, so when I'm running this particular line of code, you'll be able to see that there is a syntax error that is coming to me, because Python only considers this particular aspect when the first quotation mark starts and the second quotation mark ends. That is the only string in the entire thing. Okay, according to Python, but that is not true. Okay, so Python provides two easy way to handle this particular problem. Okay, we can place the entire string into single quotation marks. Now what happens is the first like the opening string is a single quotation mark itself. Now the Python will try to find the second single quotation mark to like stop, to determine that okay, this is a particular string itself. Now it is coming to a double quotation mark, it is trying to find a single quotation mark itself. So it will ignore the double quotation mark, it will take it as a particular string itself, and when it reaches the end of the entire string, it is able to find the second single quotation mark, and then it will be stopping that okay, I am able to find the entire string itself. That is the aim. Okay, the dialogue is equals to Shiva said. So whenever you have like multiple like inverted commas or like multiple quotation marks, then what you can do is the outer quotation mark, you keep it different, and do not use the outer quotation mark inside the string anywhere. Use these double quotation marks itself. Now you can even like replace this. So for example, you can start with a double quotation mark and have a single quotation mark inside. Okay, so it will end with a double quotation mark as well, single quotation mark and then double quotation mark. So you can do that as well. Okay, so moving further, dialogue is equals to Shiva, you are your bag is red. Okay, so for example, you are starting with the double like in single inverted comma itself, but there is another single inverted comma inside the entire like code, the entire string itself. So how to do that? Okay, that will be very simple. You just have to write Shiva, okay, and then you, and then backslash, and then the single inverted comma itself. Why you are doing so? What does backslash does? Backslash tells Python that whatever is the next character itself, please ignore that. That is also called as the escape character. So the backslash tells Python that, bro, whatever the next character is, that is not a special character, that is not the end of the entire string. Consider that as a part of the string itself. Okay, so when I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that there is no error. But when I'm removing this backslash, if I'm removing this backslash, everything becomes wrong and it gives us a syntax error. So the backslash just tells Python that the next particular item, that is the next particular character, it is also called as an escape character. The next particular character is a particular escape character itself. Like, it is not a special character, is not the end of the string, it is the part of the string itself. When I'm running this particular code, you will be able to see that no error is being printed out on your screen. Okay, so there are a few operators that we can use on floats and ints that can be used on the strings as well. So there are some operators that we can use on the ints and floats as well on the string as well, but their meaning is something that will be totally different. Okay, so as you are able to see from this particular example, if I want to append two words together, if I want to add two words together one after the other, I can use the plus symbol. Okay, so for example, print hello plus world. Okay, as you are able to see, so that will give me out a particular word as hello world. Okay, if I want to insert a particular space in between hello and world, I can just put hello, then plus, I will append a particular space, and then plus, I will append a particular like another word itself. So when I am running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that you're getting hello space world. So I can use the plus symbol to append two strings together. Okay, the second thing is now I'm showing the particular attendance link. Please take a screenshot for the same itself. It will be on the screen for the next 10 seconds, and then we'll start with the class itself. Do not fill up the attendance right now. Fill up the attendance after the end of the class itself. Do not fill it right now, otherwise you will be missing on a lot of stuff. Okay, so that was for the plus symbol. Okay, so you are able to append two strings together using the plus symbol itself. Now comes to the second operator that you can use on strings itself. So that is the multiplication operator. Just like the plus operator is present, you can use the multiplication operator as well. With what it means is, you are having a particular word. Okay, so word is a particular variable, that is hello. Now when I'm doing word star 5, what will happen is hello will be printed 5 times. Hello will be appended to each other 5 times. That is hello plus hello plus hello plus hello. Okay, that is what I'm saying. So multiplication works exactly similar to addition itself, is that it multiplies, it like adds that many number of times that particular string to each other itself. They are having hello being printed 5 times. That is the use of multiplication operator. It is very simple, very easy to understand, nothing too complicated. That's why I'm like going over it very fast, because it's not very complicated and not very important to understand as well. Okay, this is a YouTube video. You can reverse the video and watch the link again at the end of the video as well. Okay, however, unlike multiplication and addition operators, the other mathematic operators like division and subtraction cannot be used on strings. Any attempt to do so will result in an error. So you cannot use division on strings. You cannot use, yes, multiplication is like repeat that many number of times, exactly the same. So as I'm telling, like division, subtraction cannot be used on the entire strings itself. So if I'm trying to divide two strings together, it will show me that type error, unsupported operands type, division, str and str. You cannot perform division between two different like strings. Similarly, you cannot perform subtraction between two particular strings. You'll be giving the type error itself. You cannot perform subtraction between two strings itself. Okay, so let's move further itself. A useful built-in function for string data types is len, okay, which stands for length. As the name suggests, it returns the length of an object, that is, it returns the number of characters in the string itself. So it takes in values in the parenthesis and returns the length of the string. Len is a little different from print, as it basically prints the value, whatever is present inside the brackets, it will print the value to your screen, whereas len will give the number of characters present in your string itself. So for example, you are having a word length, a variable word length, which you are giving it the len of shape AI. So shape AI is SHAPEAI, 7 characters in it. So len of shape AI will be 7. So I'm running this particular line of code, you will be able to get that 7 is being printed on your screen. So len is a particular function in strings. When I'm using len of a particular word itself, of a particular variable itself, it will give you the number of characters present in that particular string itself. Okay, number of characters present in that particular string itself. Moving on to the next particular part, type and type conversion. So we have already seen what type is. We have already seen type conversion as well. We were typecasting from int to float and float to int in the first class itself. Okay, yes, spaces will also be counted by the len function. If you are having shape space AI, it will be counting it as 8 instead of 7. Okay, so moving further, till now we have covered 4 different data types: int, float, bool and string. As you can recall from the previous classes, Python has a built-in function called as type that returns the type of an object. We have already discussed this in the previous class as well. So if I'm doing type of so many different data types, it will be able to see that 75 is an integer, 75.0 is a float, 75 is a particular string, and true is a bool. So I can represent the number 75 as an integer, as a float and as a string as well. Okay, so I can represent the same value in 3 different formats. Okay, I can represent it as an integer, I can represent 75 as a float, I can represent it as a string as well. Okay, so that is the entire concept behind type. We have already studied about it in the previous classes as well. Okay, yeah, look at the code example and we can see that even though the first 3 values appears to be the same, they can be encoded into different data types, each with their own set of function and operators to use. So like we saw that in strings, that addition and multiplication operator works entirely different when compared to how it works basically inside of you are having your integers and floats. Similarly, you are having and or different operators for the Boolean data types itself. Okay, so that's the entire thing that I'm like showing it to you. Okay, so let's continue with the same itself. Different types have different properties with their own sets of functions, operators and uses. Hence, while choosing a variable, you need to choose the correct set of data type depending upon how you care. That is very important. So basically how you are going to use that particular variable, it is very important to choose the correct data type with it. As we are able to see that 75 itself can be represented as an integer, as a float and as a string. So if you are having 75 people, then it will be better to demarcate as a integer itself, because you cannot have 75.5 people. There's not a dead person with only the upper body available in the room itself. It is always 75 people. Then you are having, when you are having like liters of bottles that you are going to use in a particular wedding, so that will be a float, because it can be 75.5 bottles, like 75.5 liters, because that is something that you can measure according to that. Okay, so choosing the correct data type is very important for you to use. Okay, so we have already seen how to convert an integer to float and a float to integer. So just a recap upon that. To convert an integer to float, you just write float and in the brackets the value that you want to convert to float, and when you are printing it out, you will be able to see that it gets converted into 3.0. This is something that we have seen on the first day itself. Nothing new, nothing exceptional, we have seen it on the first day. Okay, so let's now convert an integer to string. Okay, so you can append two strings together to form a new string itself. If you remember, I've told you that we can append two strings together using the plus sign. So that is very important for you to remember, that I can only append a string to a string itself. I cannot append a string to an integer or a string to a float. If I want to append a float to an string or a integer to a string, then I have to first convert that particular integer or that particular float to string and then append that to the next string itself. Let us see right over here. So you are having marks is equals to 15, subject is equals to coding, and semester is equals to first. So you are appending all the strings together. So you are getting your I scored and then str marks, okay, and then in subject during my semester. So let's first remove str. Let's just put up marks. When I am just running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that there is an error coming up. It is saying that you can only concatenate string to string and not integer. So what I'm trying to do right over here is I'm trying to concatenate a string to an integer, okay, because marks is an integer and I scored is a string, and that is not possible. So what I will have to do is I will first have to convert marks to string. To do that, I will just put it up in brackets and then put str in front of it. To convert marks to string, I just have to put a brackets around it and then str in front of it, just like what we did to convert integers to float and float to integers, the same way. Okay, now when I'm running this particular code, you will be able to see that I scored 15 in coding during my first semester. This is how much that you are able to understand it. Are you guys able to understand up till this particular point of time? Okay, so this is as simple as it can get. I'm just converting marks to str, that's all. Okay, so next we can also convert a float to a string, to like a string to a float. So you are having a particular string 15. Okay, I want to convert that to float. Okay, so I will just put a float and then the marks, and when I'm printing it out, you will be able to see that now marks has been converted into float. Let's just print it out. Print float float, print marks, and you will be able to see that marks is basically now converted from string to an integer. So you are having 15.0 printed out on your screen. As simple as that. Okay, very easy to understand. Everything has been covered already as well, so there will be no doubts according to me up till this particular point of time. Okay, one more important string method is format. Format is exceptionally important, guys, because you will be using it a lot moving further when you are going into machine learning, deep learning, data science, something like that. Format is something that you'll be using a lot, many number of times. Okay, so that is something that you need to understand right now. Let us look at it. So we'll be using a format string method a good bit in our future work in Python, like I already explained. Okay, you will find it very easy to understand and very valuable in your coding, especially with your print statements. Okay, so we can best illustrate how to use format by looking at some examples. So these are some of the examples that I've created so that you are able to understand how to use format and what is the absolute usage for that. Okay, so for example, let's take up the first example. Let me put up everything into code itself. So I've commented everything out and we'll be writing in. Okay, so here as you are able to see, print Muhammad has dash number of balloons dot format 27. So what will format do is whatever value that you have provided inside the brackets of format, so dot format, so string dot format some value that you have provided, format will be replacing a pair of like you are having your you're having your rounded curved brackets inside of it. Okay, these are some curly brackets present inside of the string. What will format do is format will replace 27 with this particular curly brackets. So now what format will be printing is 27 right over here. So Muhammad has 27 balloons. When we are printing it back again on our screen, you will be able to see that we are getting Muhammad has 27 balloons. What format is actually doing, it is replacing the curly brackets between the string itself with the value provided inside the your rounded brackets itself. Now let us go inside this particular second example. In the second example, as you are able to see, you are having one variable named as animal, you are having a second variable named as action. So format has two values inside of it, animal comma action. So what will format do is it will go through the entire string. It is able to find two as you are able to see curly brackets. So it will replace the first occurrence of the curly brackets with the first variable itself, and you will be replacing the second curly brackets with the second variable itself. So when I'm printing it out, you will be able to see that you are getting does your dog bite, that is does your animal activate action. Okay, so animal was dog. As you are able to see, the first curly bracket was replaced by dog, and the second was action. The second curly bracket was replaced by bite, that is the action itself. Okay, so when going to the third example itself, as you are able to see, the third example, you are having Maria loves a particular curly bracket and a particular curly bracket. So you can have a particular variable name, that is a particular string as well, a dot format your math comma statistics. Okay, the two values that you want to replace. So math will replace the first curly bracket and statistics will replace this second curly bracket itself. When I am running this particular code again, you will be able to see that the first curly bracket has been replaced by math and the second curly bracket has been replaced by statistics. To explain it again, what does format does? You will give some attributes to format, some values to formats. Format will look across these string that is present in front of the keyword format. It will search for all the curly brackets that are present in the string itself. As you are able to see, one curly bracket, two curly bracket, two curly bracket. It will find those curly brackets and it will replace each of those curly brackets with the value that you have provided to format. That's it. Okay, as simple as that. There is nothing else in it. So if you are giving some value, you are going to a particular string, it will find the curly bracket, it will substitute those curly brackets with the values. That's it. If you are giving like less value, so for example you are having two curly brackets but just one value, so when you are printing it out, you will be able to see that the tuple range is out of range. Okay, so if you are having two curly brackets, you need to provide with two values as well. Only then it will be able to work. As simple as that. This is very easy to understand, and you will be using this a lot, guys. Okay, so what is the use of dot format? That is what I have explained right now. So basically, when you're printing a lot of different statements, okay, so for example, you're printing that this particular model has this much accuracy at this much epochs at this much like every single thing you are going on printing in a loop itself. So instead of like writing a long sentence like this, like okay, let's see the long sentence, like I scored this much marks in this much subject during my this much semester. So you are writing a very long statement right now. So to convert it into a smaller statement, you can use a format method itself. That will be very easy, because now you just have to specify like this was my marks, this was my this, and this was my this, and that's done. You do not even have to convert it. As you're able to see, you do not need any type conversion. You are putting 27 in and it is directly replacing by type conversion itself. You do not have to do the type conversion. You do not have to like write a particular bracket around 27 and put up like str. You do not have to do that. This is not what you have to do. It will do the type conversion itself. Okay, you do not have to do it on your own. That is one of the best things that you are able to understand about it. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so for the third example, why you use quotes? Because it is a string. That's why we have all just now learned about strings. Strings require quotes around it. That's why it is called as a string. That's the data type. Okay, so list and membership operators. This is the next thing that we are going to study from here. Okay, is there any limit of the number of variables inside format? There is no limit to the number of variables inside format. That is one of the best thing about it. Okay, so list and membership operators. Data structures are containers that are organized and group data types together in different ways. A list of the most common and basic data structures in Python. So basically a list, you can think about list as a collection of different data types. Think of lists as a container, a bucket inside which you are able to keep all the different boxes, all the different variables, all the different data types that you want to place in, and then go out for shopping. Okay, so think of lists as a container inside which you can put different like data types inside of it. Okay, so it is a mutable ordered sequence of elements. Now what is a mutable ordered sequence of elements? Once we have understood list, we will try to analyze what is mutable and what is ordered. So please bear with me. We will be looking forward to all these different words when we are moving forward. First we'll try to analyze what lists are, and then we'll come back to this particular statement, what is mutable ordered sequence of elements. Okay, so the data inside a list can be a mixture of any number and combination of different data types. Okay, it is not important for a list to have only strings or only integers or only bool or only floats. You can have string, bool, floats, integer all at the same time inside a list. You can have any number of and any combination of different data types inside a list. Okay, so here I have declared a small list for you guys. Okay, students is equals to Sam, Pam, Rocky, Austin, Steve and Banner. The small list that I have created right now. Okay, so that you guys are able to understand up till this particular point of time. Lists are ordered. We can look up individual elements by their index and can look up elements from a list just like we have done below. So like I've said up till this particular point of time, lists are ordered sequence of elements. Okay, so there are, like we said right over here, it is mutable ordered sequence of elements. So what is ordered sequence of elements? That is something that we are trying to discuss right now. So Python itself is a zeroth index language itself. Okay, that is, it starts counting from 0. So I want to access Sam. So Sam is at the index 0, Pam is at the index 1, Rocky is at the index 2, Austin is at the index 3, Steve is at the index 4, Banner is at the index 5. Okay, so you need to like you can access these elements using the indexes. So students, that is the name of that particular list, and inside the square brackets you can specify the index of which element that you want to like take up. Okay, so for example, if I'm running this particular code, you will be able to see that 0 is Sam, 1 is Pam, students 1 is Pam, and students 2 is Rocky. That is, in students at the index 2 it is Rocky. Okay, so yes, like arrays in C or something like that, you can understand it in that particular way as well. But this is lists. Okay, this is not you do not have arrays in Python. Okay, you have lists in Python. So that is why it is called as ordered. That is, you are able to access elements at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 index. You know what are the elements at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because that is what you have inputted inside of it. So it maintains the order. Okay, so hence it is an ordered sequence of elements. Okay, now once that has been done, let's move on to the next. Notice that the first element of the list can be accessed by the index 0. Many programming languages follow this convention called as zero-based indexing. Okay, we can also index the elements from the end of the list using negative index. So when you are accessing in from the start itself, so it is 0 for Sam, 1 for Pam, Rocky is 2, Austin is 3, Steve is 4 and Banner is 5. Okay, but when I'm accessing, so Sam was 0, when I'm accessing -1, it would be Banner. Okay, Banner is -1, Steve is -2, Austin is -3, Rocky is -4, Pam is -5 and Sam is -6. So you can have indexes from 0 to 5 and -1 to -6. Okay, so you can go from -6 to +5. These are only the indexes that you can access. Anything less than that and beyond that, you will get an error, because that is not an index that actually exists. So when I'm trying to access -2, -3, -1, -2, -3, that will print me the last three. It will print me the last three elements that are present in the list itself. If I'm running this, you will be able to see that the last three elements is Banner, Steve and Austin. So I'm getting Banner, Steve and Austin being printed on my screen. So you can even access the last elements using the negative indices as well. Okay, so if you access an index that does not exist, so basically beyond, like less than -6 and greater than +5, then you will get an error. So if I'm trying to access like students 20, this index does not exist. So when I'm running this particular line of code, you will see that index list index out of range. Okay, so you will get this particular like error in this. Okay, moving further. So membership operators are left, mutability is left. Okay, so no problem in that. Tuples is left and loops are left. Okay, so let's move on to membership operators in lists. In addition to accessing individual elements from a list, we can use Python slicing notation to access subsequence of a list as well. Okay, let's try to understand what is the slicing notation. So basically you are having a particular list of elements. Okay, Sam, Pam, Rocky, Austin, Steve, Banner, Tony, Bruce, Henry, Clark, Diana. This is a particular list that I've created right now for you to use. Okay, and I'm having another string as well. So the list is called as students, it's plural, and the string is called as student. Okay, so student is singular and it is named as Barry. Okay, so now to slice a particular range, for example, I want to get all the elements, all the strings, all the names present inside the students list which are currently in the Marvel universe. Okay, in the MCU itself. Okay, so we'll just look for it. So we have Sam, Pam, Rocky, Austin, Steve. Okay, so Steve is in MCU, Banner is in MCU, Tony is in MCU, and Bruce is not in the MCU itself. So I want to extract Steve, Banner and Tony from the students array. So how can I do that? From the students list itself. Okay, how can I do that? Let's try to understand. Okay, to do that, what I can do is I can use the slicing notation in Python. What does the slicing notation does? It tries to slice a particular range starting from a particular index and ending before the particular index itself. So it will start from the index 4 and end before 7 itself. So Sam is index 0, Pam is 1, Rocky is 2, Steve is 3. It will start from 4. So it is starting from 4, as you are able to see. 4 is Steve, so it will include Steve, it will include Banner, it will include Tony, so Tony is 6, Bruce is 7, so it will go up till 7, it will not include 7. Okay, it will up till 7. So these are the three words, the three names that it will be printing out. So Marvel will now contain these three words. As you are able to see, Steve, Banner and Tony is being printed out on your screen itself. Okay, so it's not Marvel comic universe, it's Marvel cinematic universe itself. So it's like MCU. Yeah, Sam is in MCU right now, but I do not consider him as the Captain America. It's just like he is not such a good actor according to me. But moving forward, the same like slicing operator also happens on strings as well. So you're having the string Barry. Okay, so you are also having a slicing operator on Barry as well. You can slice it very easily. So you're having your flash is equals to student. I want to get the ARRY. Okay, so ARR, I want to get that AR. So I will start at the first index, that is the B is at 0, A is at 1. Okay, then we'll go up till 3, will not include 3. So 1 and 2, that is just AR. Okay, we are not going to include up, we are going to go up till 3, we are not going to include 3. So we'll get the slice of AR starting from 1 and ending at R. So when I'm running this particular code, you will be able to see that AR is being printed on your screen right now. Okay, as simple as that. Very easy to understand, nothing too difficult for anyone. Okay, let's move on to the next particular thing. Okay, slice from the end itself. So for example, I want to get all the names in the DC universe. Okay, so in the DC universe we are having your Bruce, Henry, Clark and Diana. We are having all these members in the DC universe. So we want to start from Bruce, that is we want to start from 7 and we want to go up till the end. Okay, so as you are able to see, we want to go up till the end, so we do not need to include anything, we do not need to specify where we want to stop. Okay, we can just exclude it. We just want to start from Bruce, that is the 7th index, and go up till the end. So when I'm running this particular code, you will be able to see that Bruce, Henry, Clark and Diana all are being like put up Bruce Wayne, not Bruce Banner. So Bruce, Henry, Clark, Diana has been printed on our screen. Similarly for like a particular word as well, flash is equals to student 1 to 0. So student is a particular string that we have created as the name Barry. Will start from the index 1 and go up till the end. So it will be ARRY, that will be sliced. So starting from the first index going up till the end. So as you're able to see, ARRY is being printed on your screen. Now if you want to get the list of all the normal people in the like entire students list itself, all the normal people that are currently present, so for that you are having your Sam, Pam, Rocky and Austin. So you want to start from the start itself and you want to go up till Steve, that is Steve is 4, you want to go up till Steve. So as you are starting from the start itself, you do not have to specify a starting position, you can just specify the ending position. So colon 4, that is you want to go up till Steve. When you are running this particular line of code, you will be able to see that Sam, Pam, Rocky, Austin is being printed on your screen itself. And BAR is something that is like similarly for flash. So you want to go up till 3, starting from the start up till 3. So it will be 0, 1, 2. Okay, so that is BAR, that will be printed on your screen itself. As simple as that. Okay, so now looking at the membership operators. Okay, so membership operators, here you have seen that the length of a particular string is the number of characters in the string itself, while the length of a list is the number of elements in the list. Okay, so yeah, you are having a particular okay, so I guess this is the last topic itself, mutability. Okay, tuples will also be there, for loops will also be there. Okay, no problem. Yeah, moving further. So like membership operators, there are two type of membership operators that are available to us. One of them is in operator and not in operator. So Python is just like English. Try to just read the sentence. Her in greeting, is her present in greeting? H-E-R. Yes, her is present in greeting. Just like proper English, you have to know. Okay, so her in greeting, is her present in greeting? Yes, as you are able to see, her is present in greeting. So we will return true to us. Okay, her not in greeting, is her not present in greeting? No, her is present in greeting, as you are able to see. So it will return false to you. Okay, similarly shape AI in students, is shape AI present in students? Let us, so this was for a particular string. So greeting is a string, so membership operators present in string as well. If I'm running this particular code, you will be able to see that it is returning true and false. So that is for the first part, it is returning true that yes, her is present in greeting, and for the second part it is returning false that her is not present in greeting. Similarly, we can use the same membership operators on lists as well. So the students list, that is the list that we have created, Sam, Pam, Rocky, Austin, Steve, Banner, Tony, Bruce, Henry, Clark, Diana. There is no shape AI present in the entire list. So when I'm going down, you are able to see, is shape AI present in students? No, shape AI is not present in students. JPI is present in is not present in students. Yes, JPI is not present in students. So this will return us false and this will return us true. So we'll get false and true as the output. As simple as that. Nothing too complicated. Very easy. Very simple to understand as well. There's nothing that is too complicated about it. Okay. Mutability and order. Okay, so mutability and order. How are lists different from strings? So I'm also a little bit tired because I had to take up the machine first of all the web development class. So that was almost like starting from 7 o'clock to 8:30, the 1.5 hour continuous, and then this particular class itself from 8:45 to up till this particular point of time, almost 1 hour. So I'm speaking continuously from the previous 2.5 hours itself. So I'm little bit tired, but no matter what, I will try to get it over with as soon as possible. Okay, so there's a lot left. Don't think so it will be over right now. Let's do it tomorrow itself. I'm a little bit tired. Let's complete the entire mutability and order from tomorrow itself. We'll complete it tomorrow and we'll be able to finish it. Okay, so from day after tomorrow we'll be able to start with either NumPy or machine learning, depending upon what is the scenario. Okay, so let's stop for today. I'm a little bit tired as well. We'll continue from tomorrow and we'll do the same. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you were able to learn something from the entire session, and we'll continue from tomorrow as well. Thank you so much, and yeah, I'm a little bit tired today. Okay, we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you and have a good night ahead.